purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to use feedback in the Turnitin assignment in Moodle. So first of all, assuming that we have a Turnitin assignment prepared and students have already submitted their work to this assignment, then we can go ahead and click on the link to that assignment and view each of their papers and their similarity reports. So to do that, you can go to Submission Inbox, and you'll see a list of your students, the similarity report in this column, when it was submitted. If you allowed late submissions, then it's in red text if it was submitted late, past the due date. The grade if you assigned a grade to it. And eventually, once you do provide feedback on their papers, you can see whether or not they're looking at your feedback. And so if it does have a little icon with a person and a check mark, that means yes, indeed, they did look at your feedback on their paper. And if it's missing, it's not there, then that's saying they have not viewed your paper, and that suggests that they never got your feedback. So let's first take a look at the similarity index, or the originality reports. As you can see, most of them are 0%, which is good, which is what you want. But occasionally it will get up into 8, 9, 10, 11%. Here's a 4%, and this is not uncommon. So let's take a look at this one that says 11%. We can click on this. In this particular case, this student was submitting her outline, and so obviously the word count is very low, so 11% of the total word count ends up just being a couple of phrases here. And so she's saying, I moved to North Carolina, and years ago I moved. And Turnitin is picking this up as matching an internet source from this website right here. You go ahead and keep on something. So if you're really interested in seeing what the source is, you can click on it and you can read exactly where it came from. And this is useful when you have long strings of sentences or paragraphs. But in this case, we would obviously recognize that this is not plagiarism, this is just a coincidence. And so I usually tell them that, as a rule of thumb, up to and around 10% is acceptable in most cases. Now, looking back at another student's paper, I see there's one here that's registering as 99% similarity. And so obviously that's a red flag. And what this student did is fairly common and is sort of up to the instructor whether or not this is allowed or not, but I tend to not allow them to reuse papers or recycle papers, but that is in fact what this student was doing. So there's only one source that it's picking up, and it's because that one source was a previously submitted paper by that same student. So you can see today is August 21st, 2013. You can see that he was submitting this in September of 2012 to me. So he's submitting the same exact paper. And obviously there was either miscommunication there or something else that he just wasn't aware that he couldn't do this, but this student in particular was notified that you can't indeed resubmit papers from previous semesters or courses. So that was extremely helpful, because there have been plenty of times when I will start reading the paper and it sounds familiar and I can't put my finger on it, and I'll look at the similarity index and yep, there it is. It was either a previous student's paper, or I've already read it from another semester. So just glancing at these reports is extremely beneficial for you as an instructor. And so that takes care of the similarity. Now, as far as the grading and the feedback goes, if you click on the blue pencil, you'll be able to provide feedback for each individual student's paper, and depending on how much you use it, you can provide extensive feedback. So let's take a look here. These blue marks that show up over here on the right are all are called quick marks, and these are all quick marks that I developed on my own. And to develop a quick mark, it's very easy, because if you find yourself writing the same comments over and over and over again, capitalize the word I, you can save it as a new quick mark. And let's just call that quick mark I. So we're going to save it. And it now shows up in my list of quick marks over here. I'm going to get rid of this one. But now it's in my list, and anytime that I need to make that comment on a paper, it's not in this one, but if it were, I could just drag it over and place it on the paper above the lowercase I. So that's a very easy way to do this. It's a big time saver. Also, what I like to do with my quick marks is, if I am finding a lot of run-ons and fragments and things, I will drag the fragment quick mark over, but along with my quick mark, I included a link to the Purdue website where they explain what fragments are, how to identify them, how to fix them, some exercises. And so the student sees this, and if I'm highlighting and dragging over the fragment quick mark over to their paper constantly, then they can visit that site and learn all about fragments. And so I do this with a number of different things. I do it for run-ons, I do it for almost everything that I have in here as a quick mark, just because it's another resource for that student. So let's get rid of these. Along with the quick marks, you also have a text button, which is up here, and that allows you to write text directly onto the paper. Pretty simple. Now, at the bottom, there are a couple of other features. Sorry, let me get this. There we go. The next thing over here, this bubble-looking icon, is very useful because it's a voice comment function. And if you would like to provide the student with up to 3 minutes of commentary on their paper, you can do so simply by clicking the microphone and recording your notes, and it will save it directly onto the student's paper, and he or she can listen to those audio notes from you, and that is also a really, really big time saver. The other thing down here at the bottom is the rubric. And the rubric, there are several default rubrics that you can use, or you can develop your own rubric, which is very simple, and I can help you do that as well. For this particular part of the assignment, for them submitting their outline forms, it's just a grade out of 10, and they just get either a 0, a 5, or a 10. And so you can see as I roll over these possible grades here that there's a description down below in this blue box of what a 5 is, or what a 10 is, or what a 0 is. And so as soon as you select one of the grades, then you can apply the rubric percentage to grade, and it will show up here and go directly into the Moodle gradebook. And so this does take a little bit of work on the front end because you have to develop your rubrics, but in the long run, it's extremely time efficient, and it also, again, provides extensive feedback to each individual student. So that's pretty much all there is for now. Of course, if you'd like to learn more or you have questions, you can contact me. My email is reada@brunswickcc.edu. I'm located in B112. Thank you very much.